Police kill 8, arrest 9 in Shagamu cult clashes. Obasanjo justifies public rebuke of traditional rulers. FIRS recovers 4 trillion naira tax liabilities from NNPC. And petrol importers, power firms behind anti-Akpabio plot. Okay, which story are we starting with in Nation?
We can do the FIRS. FIRS, yes. So the Federal Inland Revenue Service said they have recovered more than 4 trillion tax liabilities from the Nigerian National Petroleum Company Limited, NNPCL, and it has also collected 8.5 trillion in taxes so far this year, bringing the total to collection of 12.5 trillion. The immediate past executive chairman, Federal Inland Revenue Service, Mr. Muhammad Nami, was the one who gave the update on the tax collection administration while he was handing over to his successor, Dr. Zach Adedeji, yesterday in Abuja, and he listed everything. And he also said that the person he handed over to, which is Mr. Adedeji, said that they will create a tax system that is both innovative and trustworthy. And the focus will be to incorporate quality data into the operations of the tax system to improve its efficiency and effectiveness. And they will try as much as possible to utilize the tax system so that they can track progress, send benchmarks, make informed decisions, and ultimately enhance performance. So this is them promising to use a lot of data to see how they can make more money for the country, Nigeria. And he's ready to work, he's ready to engage with stakeholders to see that this is a huge success.
Okay, so our president met his counterpart, his South African counterpart, yesterday at the United Nations General Assembly, President Cyril Ramaphosa in New York, and he was speaking to him concerning Africa and how they must ensure that democracy without food on the table is breeding ground for chaos. Specifically, he said that you cannot have a stable democracy in the presence of poverty of knowledge and starvation of people. Democracy without food on the table is a breeding ground for what will consume us if we don't take care. He also said that Africa is no longer a scavenging ground and is a place with gifted people that is ready for investment and cooperation. So they must have one voice towards what Africa stands for today, and that they must ensure that democracy stands and provide food for their people. And you cannot have democracy when there's starvation in the land.
Okay, so I wanted to take the Shaibu, the deputy governor of Edo State story. Apparently he got to his office, his old office yesterday at the State House. When he got there, the gates were locked. So he was like, he didn't know, nobody has told him that, why is his office locked? So it was a whole show of him standing at the gates, making a call, saying his office is locked, he can't enter. So, but apparently, the staff had started to relocate from Monday. They had given all of them directives to move to the new office. But he says he didn't get any written relocation paper, so he's at his office. So he calls the chief security officer, Williams Waba, and now said, okay, I'll get back to you. According to the media aid, he was waiting for the Waba to get back to him. He didn't get back to him. But the press now contacted some staff of Obaseki who wanted to be anonymous, who said please, why is he doing that? He knows that everybody has relocated. That
relocated to where?
The new
place now.
They've given
the new place that they showed us the papers yesterday. Is the new.
But the place didn't seem ready anyway. I think we're talking about it later on.
So
I think so.
So we remember that former President Olusegun Obasanjo, had met with some traditional rulers in Oyo State, and he has said to them that they should stand up, in respect. And there was a lot of backlash for that behavior. But he's saying that he's standing firm by what he said. He's unapologetic and uncompromising on the position that the governor of a state holds the highest office in the state. He says, according to the Constitution, that respect, protocol, and dignity must be accorded to the office of the governor by virtue of the Constitution, and not to do that is denying what the Constitution says. But also there had been a statement that had been put out by Ms. Taiwo Martins, who had claimed to be his wife. They say she's the mother of 2 of his children, and she had apologized for what he did. And he has now put out another statement saying that, first of all, the lady in question is not his wife or part of the family, and nobody speaks on his behalf apart from himself and those he has delegated to do so for him. I found that really...
He said that she's an imposter. She only has children for me.
I didn't want to go there. I felt because of the children. I didn't want to go there.
Health problems.
Yes, and he said...
So they know she has health problems. You know what they mean by health problems?
I thought that was in bad taste, sir. Honestly.
But it's in bad taste. What he did was in bad taste.
So another one.
So if he does that one in bad
Okay,
taste...
let's move. Are we done? Let's move on to the purge.
Normal bad taste.
FG NLC meeting deadlocked. Workers insist on demands. Drama as Obaseki locks out embattled deputy from his government house. Tension as 8 killed in Ogun community cult clashes. Obasanjo insists on stand-up order to monarchs. Nigeria serving 108 World Bank loans worth $14 billion, says report. No easy solution to Nigeria's economic problem, says US. And oil companies, agencies owe federal government 9.85 billion naira revenue. Okay, which story are we starting with in Punch?
NLC and federal government, they said that the federal government and Labour talk on how to mitigate the effect of subsidy removal ended in a deadlock yesterday. The government and NLC failed to reach a compromise on post-subsidy removal palliatives for workers. They have agreed to resume negotiations on the demand by organized labor on Thursday. And also, a 21-day ultimatum has been given by the NLC to the government to either meet your demands or face an indefinite strike that would expire at midnight of, Thursday. So we'll wait to see what this, how this unravels.
Okay. So Ogun State Police Command has confirmed the arrest of 9 suspects following the killing of 8 persons at the weekend in Shagamu during a clash between a rival cult group. So, speaking on the crisis during a press briefing in Abeokuta, the Commissioner of Police, Abiodun Alamutu, said the cause of the clash was a land transaction that occurred in the town. And one of the cult groups sold land to a customer and they were paid for it. The other faction, another cult group, heard of the payments, came to collect their commission, and that degenerated into the fracas that they had. They had killed about 8 persons. And according to the police, they said they were able to arrest 9 suspects already. They've been speaking with them. They found 2 guns, 2 rounds of cartridges, and evidence, with them. So because of the 9 people arrested, they are able to, get more people. So one of the persons, they mentioned his name, that was arrested had 4 dead bodies in the room when they went in and, met him. And it caused a lot of disturbances in the area. People are really scared of what's happening. So the police are seriously on it. They said they are going to keep getting more people who are connected to the cult clash that's happening. So it's just painful that we're hearing from one cult clash in one area to another. This seems to be like a southwestern problem, and it needs to be
tackled quickly.
Yeah.
Let's go on a quick break. When we come back, thanks for staying with us. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Northern senators grouse with Akpabio exposed. Edo Governor Deputy fight gets messier. I stand by my position on Oyo Monarch, says Obasanjo. Paris Club refund FG asks court to stop the $480 million payments to consultants. Enugu State government begins sealing of illegal mining sites. Parents, guardians lament hike in fees as school resumes. Says home enforcers killed in gun battle with security operatives in Enugu. Okay. Which story are we starting with?
Okay, we could start with the sit-at-home, yes. So they said about 3 suspected members of the indigenous people of Biafra, that's IPOB, security outfit, Eastern Security Network, ESN, has been killed by joint security operatives in Enugu State. So according to the spokesman of the state's police command, Daniel Ndukwe, he said the suspects were in their hideout at Ezioha, Mbowo, in Agu local government area, where they were perfecting plans to enforce the illegal sit-at-home in the state. And they got intelligence got there about 2:15 a.m. on Monday and, opened fire on them. They were also able to break some of their other hideouts. And that was carried out by the Joint Security Team, comprising police operatives of the Enugu State Command, MPF Special Forces, and troops of the 82 Division of the Nigerian Army, Enugu. So they said they busted the criminal hideouts, and they found about 3 of them. Those ones opened fire on them first before they retaliated, and 3 of them lost their lives. And they are trying as much as possible to dislodge any group or any form of people gathering together to enforce the sit-at-home. Sit-at-home has been cancelled in the whole of the southeast, and according to the police commission, it says people should go about their normal activities, go about their lawful businesses.
Okay, so the major headline. Report is coming that the senators that were pushing for the Senate President's ouster have said that the reasons why they were doing that were 2 key reasons. One, they felt that some of the committees within, they were marginalized concerning some of the committees within the Senate, and also that the Senate President has not been able to checkmate the President's appointments as regards certain areas. Said that besides the alleged perception of Akpabio's lack of capacity to checkmate the purported domination of an ethnic nationality in the financial ecosystem, his alleged refusal to deal with powerful interest groups, particularly some petrol importers and electricity distribution companies, on some proposed financial deals bordering on 40% electricity tariff hike and payment of outstanding money to fuel importers. So remember, the rumor went around of why the possibility of trying to impeach the Senate President. So according to this report, this is the reasons why that is happening. However, I think that's been resolved so far. The main issue, according to them, has been resolved, and we'll see how that goes. But that was the justification or their reason for attempting that. He's unable to check with the president in some of the appointments that seem to be lopsided, and also he has some interest groups who seem to be within the house.
So suspected kidnappers have hijacked another bus belonging to the Benue State Transport Company, Benue Links, and they abducted 15 passengers. One of the passengers was a staff of the NTA who was in Makurdi. He was an accountant in the NTA Makurdi, but was transferred to Anambra. So he was coming home. He was going from Anambra, from the east to Benue to visit his family when the bus was intercepted by kidnappers, and they were all kidnapped. 15 of them, but 4, according to this story, managed to escape. And the NTA have written to the police to say their staff, they've written to the police that, please, our staff has been arrested, has been kidnapped, so please help us find him. The report that you say that we should be doing,
they've done it.
NTA have done it.
Okay, the show.
So help us fight it.
Okay, let's move on to Vanguard. Nigeria in revenue crisis with huge public debt. 20-year debt as cultists clash in Shagamu. Article warns APC against harassment of opposition. Mobad, police to exhume body for investigation. Tinubu appoints Vanguard columnist Baba Ahmed as VP political advisor. Drama in Benin, Edo deputy governor locked out of his office. NLC to FG, you have till Friday to meet our demands. Oshu, the Apapa Expressway, how police, Ududua boys, others worsen gridlock. Okay, story?
The story I have is a continuation of the tax FIRS story, and they're just saying that there's a revenue crisis in the nation, and it requires urgent steps to change the narrative. And they went ahead to list what I had listed earlier about the tax that was they were able to gather for Nigeria, getting into trillions. And they said what they need to do now is to key into reforms being made by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, since he has inaugurated the Presidential Fiscal Policy and Tax Reform Committee, and they'll see how they can, make sure that a lot of people tap into the tax reform. They said just about 40% of Nigerians actually pay tax. They want to see how they can expand the net and get more people into it. Since we're not really making much in terms of revenue, we need to tighten our tax and see how we can lift Nigeria out of the debt crisis. We know that majority, about 70% of our revenue is used to pay recurrent bills. So maybe with the tax now, we'll be able to do something more. It's just a lot of data and details, yeah.
All right, so many of us have seen the story that the president has approved the appointment of Hakeem Baba Ahmed as special advisor on political matters, office of the vice president. Hakeem Baba Ahmed, who is also the spokesperson of the Northern Elders Forum NEF, and also the senior brother of the Labour Party vice presidential candidate Yusuf Dati Baba Ahmed. He also appointed 17 other special advisors and senior special assistants to actualize the agenda of the federal government across the different sectors in the economy. So many have come out to celebrate or criticize it in different ways, saying that, what are this man that you're trying to incorporate members of the opposition parties into your cabinet?
Was he a member of the opposition?
Others are saying he's fit for that role because of his experience and what he's done in the past. So
he was not a member of celebration symposium last year.
But reports had come out that he had condemned the president during the
press.
Yeah, he had criticized.
One of the loud noises, especially concerning security in the north. So the Arewa voice is one of the big voices that you hear.
He's a good advisor.
So
it's good that he's well. Okay.
So Lagos State Police Commissioner Mr. Idowu Owo Hunwa yesterday inaugurated a 13-man special investigation team to unravel the circumstances surrounding the death of Ile Uluwa Aloba,
yes.
Mohbad. The team is headed by the Assistant Commissioner of Police Shahid Kasim and is expected to exhume Mohbad's body, carry out an autopsy, as well as conduct a toxicology and histology tests. So,
yeah,
the police will be doing their job.
It will be laid to rest what killed, because the point is, it is what killed him.
We need to figure out.
It's still under...
Any other story? Moving on to the Nigerian Tribune. Let's find a story of not taking how we stabbed, shot Senator Adeola's aide 3 times, 6 suspects. NTA staff were 10 other passengers kidnapped in Benue. 8 killed, 9 arrested, says police. That's in Shagama court clashes. How intrigue stalled Nigeria's $2.3 billion, 25,000 megawatts power projects. Mohbad's death, police set up special investigation team. Adeyemo, USF Deputy Secretary of the Treasury, says foreign companies eager to invest in Nigeria. And finally, a Paris Club refund AFG moves to block $418 million payments to consultants.
Okay, I know, remember when we took a story of the aide to Senator Olamide, that's Yayi, everybody knows him as Yayi. His aide was allegedly at the time killed by military officers.
Yeah.
They were wearing military uniform. So the police has properly investigated the case. In fact, they have caught the suspects and they have been paraded. And they found out that this is like a group of robbers. Their kingpin is an Alhaji that lives in Benin. And they wear these uniforms. They are not military officers. They wear them so that they can go past all the checkpoints. Wow. So what they do, they say they specifically target cars that haven't been fully registered. So they'll stop a car and ask for the papers, and then when they see that you haven't been fully registered, then they pounce on you, ask and take you, take the car away from you. But with this particular aide, they said when they had asked for the papers that they don't know what he noticed, but he screamed out and said, when he got out of the car, he said, screaming thief, and that's why they shot him. And they shot him, they said 3 times, and also stabbed him for effect. And then they now
they said the reason that one stabbed him was because he wasn't dead. That day, they fought him. They fought the guy that stabbed him.
Anyway, so they took the car away and cleaned up the blood and sold it to their criminal buyer in Kwara State. But thank God they've done a proper investigation. And now we know that these were not our own military officers because we were hearing all sorts of stories.
It was good that you took that story.
United States military on Monday are asking for help to locate their fighter jets. They say it cost about $80 million. And according to the story, that afternoon... No, wait now. They need help now to find their
our
jets.
forest.
Pilots, they inside jets. They drive. All of a sudden, he wear parachutes, run, come out, leave jets disappear. So probably there was a mishap that happened in the jet. He had to save his life first. Yes, but he is in the hospital now recuperating, though they've not really found out what happened in the jet. Now they're looking for the jet, and because of the kind of jet, I'm telling you, because of the kind of jet it is, you know, those jets that they don't allow you track easily. It's used for, so it's very difficult for them to find. So they're asking for help. Police, Morayo, if you can help them to locate this jet, because they have given their reports.
People will not cover me on this show.
They have written their reports, Morayo. Do the needful.
Your view is for different views. Regardless of how unpopular it is. Okay, let's go on a break. When we return, we move on to the hot topic of today. Stay with us, we'll be right back.